So we'll have Game 2 Ballistix versus Super Perfect Team on Sky Temple. Looks like Super Perfect Team will have first pick, first ban this time. It seems they were very successful in their draft last game. What's my local time? It is 7:51 a.m. I have been up since... Well, I've been up since yesterday, but I started casting at 1 a.m. my time. What do I drink up my throat? I'm drinking water. I also have warm broth every so often. And I have some throat lozenges. I'm taking care of my throat. It's not... Hey, I've done public speaking before. Illidan gave me the ban for Super Routine. Makes sense. Korean Illidans are scary. I've done a lot of public speaking. Lectures. I used to teach a dance class in a crowded gymnasium that had 200 people. So, you know, you had to project. This is easier than that in some ways. But also, this is harder in some ways because longer period of time. Zeratul is going to be the ban for Ballistix. The respect ban on Zeratul. Are you falling asleep? No, I'm awake. It's not even that my throat's starting to hurt. It's just that I can feel the fatigue. And I know if I push it too hard, I'm going to lose. It'll be harder tomorrow. And then if it's harder tomorrow, it'll be impossible on day 3. So I need to make sure I'm careful. This is why the official English stream has 4 casters and they alternate. Duo casting games instead of just having one guy cast all the games all the way through. But I'm going to be honest, there was no way I was letting another Gold League event go through and not cast the games when I had the option to do so. Ball going to be the first pickup for Super Perfect Team. Chinese draft going according to plan. All according to Keikaku. Keikaku means plan. For those of you who saw the original fan sub of Death Note, you'll get that joke. Tasler's going to pick up for his Ballistix. This is a denial pick. They just don't want Vala to have that extra support. But it does mean they're going to have to pick up something that is enabled by Tasler. There's quite a few options, even with Illidan, off of the table. So the question here is, do they pick up ETC? I think the answer is probably going to be yes. I'm kind of wondering if Super Perfect Team is going to pick up the Ariel Leoric combo again. This isn't as good a map for it in some ways, but in some ways it's actually an even better map for it than Tomb is. It's something they've shown a predilection for. It's hard to predict Super Perfect Team's drafts quite as well because they do occasionally draft some unusual compositions. That is going to be the Ariel. I think that was a given no matter what, just because of the feedback loop that exists between Ariel and Vala. But I'm really curious to see if we're actually going to see the Leoric again. Or if they're going to go for something more traditional. They could obviously also pick up Muradin here. Nope, it's going to be the Falstad. Falstad's essentially going to be their mage. Vala is their sustained AA damage. Ariel is support. They're leaving both their bruiser and their tank for the last 2 picks. This is going to allow Ballistix to ban out the tank they are most afraid of. So the question is going to be, are they going to ban Muradin or Johanna? So this is actually a really good point. Snizzy Snoot says, I like how the meta is about 15 heroes now. The meta in standard play has a fairly limited pool. But this is also the round robin stage where teams are doing their best not to reveal any strategies. So all of the round robins are going to be really standard unless one team thinks they're significantly worse, in which case they'll try and draft some sort of wonky comp or something they've been practicing. It's like a pocket comp. But teams that are confident are going to save that for the bracket stage. SPT going to ban out Tychus. That is going to deny one of the strongest options that Ballistix could have picked up to pair it with the Tassadar. Also just one of the strongest heroes in the game right now. Brightwing is going to be the pickup for Ballistix. Does give them one global, at least, potentially two at the ETC stage dive. Globals seem to be the most important draft consideration. Straight damage and globals are like the two most important things in drafts right now, it seems like. Vol is the highest damage dealer in the game. Volstad's in the top 5 or 6, but has a global, so we see him emphasized quite a bit. Brightwing is at least in the top 3 supports. In some compositions, is the top support that could be picked and has a global. Huge emphasis there as well. Li-Ming is going to be the pickup for Ballistix that gives them more burst potential. But importantly, Li-Ming is not enabled really in any way by Tassadar. You can play more aggressively as Li-Ming, which means that, you know, shields help out a little bit, but you don't get the healing from leeching. So they still have to get someone that will be enabled by the Tassadar to have a really solid composition. Because if Tassadar's not actively enabling someone to do a lot more damage, then the fact that he is a relatively low damage and you went double support puts you in a situation where you have a difficult time securing marginal kills that would have been secured if you had slightly more damage. Super team gonna pick up Murd. The best remaining tank by a decent margin for this comp. And Leoric. So they did pick it up in the draft. They just changed the place they picked it up. I like it. I like the fact that Entombed Detainment Strike is starting to get play at the professional level. I'm excited to see more and more and more of that. The question here is, Ballistix go for another ranged hero that has auto attack, or do they go for a bruiser? They could pick up something like a Sonya if they wanted to. Sonya used to be better against Leoric, but with a reduced cooldown on Drain Hope, Leoric pretty much holds his own against, and then nope, they are going to enable the Tracer. I wasn't going to say it, because I was like, they're not going to go Tracer, right? Because that's kind of two burst heroes, they went Tracer. This is going to enable Li-Ming. If Tracer can secure that first kill and then Li-Ming can get those resets, they can really start snowballing fights. I'm a little concerned about the amount of wave clear that they have in the early game. Particularly because Super Forever Team won the early game pretty hard in the last set. Has any team won without meta play? All the teams that have drafted off meta have been against teams that are significantly better than them. So it's hard to say if they're losing because they're drafting off meta or if they're losing because they're up against better teams. Is Tracer good here? Yeah. I mean, Tracer's good on Sky Temple. Tracer's good on any map with wide open spaces where her mobility can come into play. She's good against any heroes that are fragile. She's good with Tassadar. In fact, there is a debate in the pro community about whether or not Tracer is even viable without Tassadar. Like, she's exceptional with Tassadar, but should you ever pick her if you don't have Tass is the question. There's proponents for both sides. But if Tracer can secure that first kill with her Pulse Bomb, melee combo, and that gives Li Ming a reset, they're going to be in really good shape. The Golden Horse is an special mount that's available only to people who attend the event live or manage to scan the QR code fast enough, but it's only on the Chinese server. It is not on other servers. We do not get access to the special Golden Mount on NA or EU. It's actually not the first time that Blizzard has had a prize or promotion that only existed on the Chinese servers in one of their games. Hearthstone had a golden card back that was pretty much only available to Chinese teams. It got manually awarded to a couple of NA players, I think, a few months ago. But basically, it's extremely rare. The score is 0-1, or Super Perfect Team took game 1 off Ballistix. It was an insane game. I encourage you to check it out if you were not here live. SCSC on Tracer, Zhangha on Tassadar, Noblesse on ETC, Nitrogen on Li Ming, and Swoi on Brightwing. And then for Super Perfect Team, we have Wings on Leoric, Aloof Fool on Ariel, Misaka on Muradin, Liang on Falstad, and Qing Zhao on Vala. I think I'm saying at least one of those names wrong. But I've been casting for 6 hours and haven't slept, so. 7 hours. Oh my god, 7 hours. Coming up on the 7th hour of casting. You're going to see a brief brawl over the mid. We're actually going to see auto attack Falstad. That is Season Marksman with the pickup, and this is mostly about countering the Tracer. Auto attacks can be disjointed by recall, but for the most part, auto attacks don't miss, and Qs can, so you get that damage on the Tracer more reliably with the auto attack Falstad build. Plus, on bigger maps, you do spend a lot of time soaking his Falstad anyway, so it's very easy to build that up. And the number of Gathering Storm stacks you can pick up is sometimes questionable versus Tracer comps, just because they tend to be pretty mobile. You don't usually pick Tracer with an otherwise immobile comp, you pick Tracer when the rest of your comp is also mobile. Pretty center pickups across the board otherwise. We're going to see, again, a contest over Vision Misaka. Just getting some Perfect Storm stacks and then diving back out. Falstad, Brightwing, both the globals are in the bottom lane. We just see Leoric soloing mid. And it's basically a 3-1-3 from both teams, with a huge contest over Vision that's just constant. Middle going to be secured by Ballistix. Super Perfect Team is going to secure top. Looks like both teams are just comfortable trading. Looks like Super Perfect Team is actually a little tiny bit ahead in experience. I think neither team's actually missed soak. That's just a rate difference. Of course, if you kill the waves first, you get the experience for, so it looks like you're ahead. But you can see Tassadar is pushed relatively far in, and he just hasn't cleared the wave as efficiently because of how much pressure has been existed in the top lane. But they're both going to pick up 4 close to the same moment. See both teams catching up. We do see Falstad in the bot lane again as well, trying to get some free damage onto Brightwing here, potentially getting the wraparound, but not quite. SCSC waiting for him to overextend by too much. Nope, looks like it's not going to happen. Opts to back out. We're going to see actually Li Ming rotate down as well, so this is 2 heroes, 3 heroes dedicating this rotation. They're trying to get the pick on the Falstad. Falstad's just backing. He's having none of it. started to back, canceled the back. And we're going to see the rotation into the mid lane. Again, no pick going to happen. Both teams playing extremely safe. As soon as someone is off the map, everyone in the lane backs up. It's like, nope, we're not going to do that. We're not going to get picked off at this point in the game. Ballistix doing the very standard thing of grabbing their siege camp, picking it up. This does help you push in the bottom lane, and the bottom lane is the next lane that's going to be under contention because it is going to be the bottom temple. Bottom temple is extremely important to see who wins the race to 10, who gets ahead in the tempo on the map. Generally speaking, the team that wins the bottom temple wins the game. Statistically, that is pretty much a rule. Can dictate the entire rest of the game in terms of the pace that the teams have to play at. We're going to see Brightwing hiding out top. The Orcs already starting rotation down. We're going to see a stun onto Swin Zhao, but no real damage, just sort of a zoning stun. Noblesse is going to take a lot of damage. Actually, no, they actually managed to switch targets, get the kill onto the Ariel. Did not even see her getting that low. Beautiful kill by Ballistix, and I think Super Perfect Team was almost as surprised with that one as I was. We're going to see the Orc come in, assist with the clear. SCSC actually going to get Drain Hoped. That's Tracer getting hit by a skill shot. It's not something you see every day in pro play. Noblesse taking a lot of damage, actually. Does have Task Star shields, does end up eating a lot of damage. But Tracer goes deep and actually gets the kill onto Muradin with the Pulse Bomb. And that Pottery Gift combo. Li Ming, however, is going to go down from the counter initiation. And that ends up being a 1-for-1 trade. Temple's about to come up momentarily. Wings could potentially go down here. No, he gets just enough healing. And Queen Zhao tries to get in on top of this. His shield is there. They actually get the kill onto Tracer, but Noblesse still alive for the moment. There's no way he gets out of this. It does end up going down. And that SPT losing the early part of the fight, but wins the fight when the temple actually comes up, which is when it most matters that they have this numbers advantage. So suddenly everything's coming up Millhouse for Super Perfect Team. And yeah, Falstad in the top lane. Tracer's rotating up there. Gonna get that soak. Gonna try and potentially, I think, believe, get some damage onto the Falstad. But Falstad backs up. Not worth the risk. EDC is gonna secure Vision. Super Perfect Team pretty much gonna get 10 here momentarily. They are basically 3/4 of a level ahead right now. And they're gonna push in, secure 10 off of getting this fort. Looks like they back up a little bit. There's only 3 of them here. And they don't exactly know where ETC is, which is always a big concern. We're actually going to see ETC come mid. This is a 3v1, but that is a Muradin. He manages to jump out. 10 is picked up. Aegis, Entomb, Gust, Strafe, and Avatar are the pickups for Super Perfect Team. Tassadar trying so desperately to keep us alive, constantly shielding it. We're going to see a beautiful power slide. Wings does not die. Gets extremely close, but the Strafe is going to come out, and Noblesse is actually going to get Entombed. Has Crowd Surfer, so if he had Q available, he could have slid through that, but Q was not available, and that will be an easy kill on to Noblesse with that Entomb. Super Perfect Team gonna steal the aggressive siege. This is gonna keep bot lane pushed in. SCSC doesn't quite get hit by that skill shot. Stormbolt does miss, but he does get chunked a little bit by some of those auto attacks. They're going to grab their own siege now, keep the lanes as pressured as possible. Brightwing still soaking in the top lane. Falstad does clear mid, getting more of those seasoned marksman stacks. Both teams hanging out, playing slightly passive, getting the soak. Super Perfect Team gonna rotate the Orc down to the bottom lane, push in, make sure he gets the full value out of those Siege Giants. And we're gonna see Noblesse just spending a lot of time sitting. We're gonna see a beautiful engage. That is gonna be Poly in off of the power slide. That is an instant erasure of Falstad. That's what they've been looking for all game. They did finally nail the full combo power slide into Poly into Pulse Bomb. Everything going down and just 100 to 0 in no time flat. That 3 seconds is basically why Ballistix drafted Tracer. But they haven't yet managed to pull that off in a team fight where they're going to give the reset to the Li Ming. They do have managed to secure a mid basically for free off the back of that, though, with Brightwing continuing to push top, continuing to get that soak. We're going to see a 2-man rotation, Li Ming and Tracer going down to the bot. They're going to force Leoric off and get the pick. Soy is going to Z down to help secure it. He does have that sustain. SCSC and Nacho Joe both take a little bit too much damage if they were tanking the thing themselves. And Super Perfect Team, meanwhile, going to invade and get the last shots from mid. But considering Ballistix got more shots that phase, and they were behind in experience and in structures, that's a good trade for them. Their top fort is on its last legs. It is their last remaining fort. Bottom fort and top fort both still alive. Super Perfect Team. So despite the fact that Ballistix is catching up in experience, they have a long way to go in terms of catching up in structures. And structures are, in some ways, more important than levels on Skyrim. Beautiful power slide, a lot of damage. Avatar forced to be popped here, but Misaka taking so much damage. He will have a jump available, does get out of there. He got hit by the leading combo, was not enough to finish him off. Had jump, got out. And meanwhile, Leoric came back to life and continues to push bottom lane, getting that soak. We can see the pickup for him is, again, Burning Rage at 13. This build is 100% dedicated to just split pushing, soaking as much as possible. Both teams angling for a fight here. It really feels like Ballistix wants to make this happen, but unfortunately everyone on Super Perfect Team that is vulnerable to the Tracer combo is staying very, very safe. SCSC decides to go in more for the harass than anything. He does have the Taskar shield, so he's going to be fine in that regard. Building up his heroic, I believe it is available to cast already. Super Perfect Team just going to grab their siege. They sort of got chased or chased Ballistix down here, depending on how you want to look at it. And like, oh, well, we got chased all the way down here. We might as well grab our siege. Both teams thinking the same thing. Both teams cap their siege at almost exactly the same time. And the middle temple is going to be the point of contest. If Ballistix could somehow win this fight and come out of here with both temples, they would pretty much even out the structure disadvantage they have currently. If they just trade, they're going to stay behind in structures. This is one of the aspects of... oh, the fly! He's going to die midair. Beautiful kill on the Falstad. Pulse Bomb just there in time. But being behind on structures on Sky Temple is really bad, because if you keep trading temples over and over and over again, you will eventually lose the game if you're already behind on structures. You need at some point to get ahead on structures or come back even at a minimum. And Ballistix is trying to do that, and off the back of that kill, it looks like they'll manage to actually zone everyone away. Noblesse will be able to keep his team safe while they do capture both temples at the same time, and that will pretty much even them out on structures if they can get both of these, as I said earlier. And it looks like that's actually going to happen. $16 is picked up, and Ballistix has managed to come back from a 1-level deficit to almost a level lead. We are going to see a beautiful Entomb. Unfortunately, Ariel is not in range to get the follow-up. That is what they were looking for with that Entomb, the Detainment Strike follow-up to guarantee the stun, especially with Detainment Strike Piercing Lash at 13. That upgrade that would cause him to stun everyone. Wings is going to go down from extending too far. Noblesse power slides, not through the wall, but across open sky. Not something you're going to see every day. Ling Zhao is going to go down. So far, that's 3 for none. Misaka's trying to get away, but the stun and the power slide is going to secure that kill. The polymorph is a follow-up. And the question Ballistix has to ask themselves here is, where do they want to get the value off of that one team fight that they won so crisply and one-sidedly? And the answer is they want to go for boss. A boss which they'll burn down exceptionally quickly. Wings does respawn basically in vision of Ballistix's team. Super perfect team forced to back up there. And I'll be curious to see how aggressively Ballistix opts to push this in. They could potentially, if they get a pick, they can easily get a keep. The question is, do they want to do that? We're going to see the Aegis come down on to... Oh, Mosh actually gets cast, but the Aegis gives... the Tomb gives the Detainment Strike a way to stun. They end up trading 2 for 1. Vala ends up going down for that kill, but Brightwing and ETC are both dead. And as CSC, just trying to be as annoying as possible, is getting those constant Tassadar shields. The more annoying they can be for the moment, as long as they don't die, the more likely that boss is to secure a keep. As long as it's not defended, Nachojin's going to back out. They actually do manage to get the kill on Leoric. Tassadar, with his get out of jail free cards, is going to use up both of them. He's extremely low. Does end up going down, but they actually get the kill. The pulse bomb that was thrown out finishes the kill, and that gives Li Ming resets, but Li Ming ends up going down. And then Tracer Tassadar cleans it up for the ace. Boss did finish off bottom keep, and they are going to be able to stand on this point and start working on mid keep with those shots. They will also be able to secure 20, or be very close to securing 20, off of the towers that will end up going down here. And that is the power of Tracer Tassadar in those long engages. If you just keep killing people, eventually the damage gets so low that you can't out-damage the shields. And Tracer keeps healing from the Leeching Plasma, and her ult charges up so incredibly quickly with this build, and you just kill everyone. That's the way it works. It's not always viable. You do need fragile opponents on the other side, but Vala and Falstad both qualify. Ariel, her only save against it is Aegis. So if Aegis isn't available, it's really easy to secure those kills. Assuming you have perfect mechanical skill to make sure you dodge everything. Which, they're Koreans, so you know. Middle keep was secured by those tower shots, by the temple shots as well. You're going to clear up the walls here, making sure there's no vision. They're going to push this lane in. They do have the bruisers. We're going to see Noblesse waiting in the bush, making sure that his team does not get rotated. If they do, they get punished for it. But we're going to see some free damage go down here. That is the wall. And Ballistix wants to force this fight. They're 20 versus 19 right now. Either they get the keep for free or they get a fight on uneven advantages. Either way, they're very, very happy. Wings using Wraithwalk there to disengage. We're going to see the well go down. The tower is going to get erased as well. And this is actually going to be basically the last structure. There is one tower, you can see it's right there, that's very low on health. But if they get this keep, you're going to be in very rough shape. And Xiang, actually with the fly in, tries to get that auto attack damage, splits the fight with Gust. Entomb actually getting 0 value there. It looks like there's a little bit of miscommunication on who's going to use which heroic first under what circumstances. But that is 2 heroics down to none, and Falstad actually is going to get deaded. The resets are real. Wings barely makes it out in time. Does have his Drain Hope on a target. We're going to see the Mosh come down. And that will be the kill onto Vala. No peel available since both the tanks were in a Mosh Pit. That is going to be the kill on Leoric as well. That's the ace. There's no possibility that Muradin gets out of the situation. He's, Muradin's tanky, but he's not 5v1 tanky when there's that much CC on the enemy team. And that will be GG Ballistix taking the second game, but giving up their first game of the day. They are 1-1 in their match against Super Perfect Team. That is the last game of the evening. Thank you all for watching. If anyone has any comments, feedback, what have you, still reading chat. But first things first, I would like to again thank all of my new followers. Just an insane number of followers. I don't think I've ever gained so many followers in such a short period of time. So thank you. Feel free to throw me a follow if you haven't. You can also follow me on Twitter at Cavalier Guest. I will be tweeting when the VODs go up on my YouTube channel. I'll also be tweeting when I go live to play more games, cast more games. So if you want to keep following me, you're welcome to do so. I'll be casting this again tomorrow and the day after, and then next. I don't believe I'm casting next week, so I believe all of the games will be on one stream next week. But we'll see. But other than that, thank you for the support, and I'd like to remind everyone that this is the stream where we never lose. We always win. We learn something. Learning is always a win. I think we learned a lot tonight watching these amazing teams and these pro drafts. And I'm going to go get some sleep. Have a good night, everyone.